Oh hey, welcome to another edition of Socrates Explains Everything. My name is Socrates and I like to explain things. We're out here at Tiska again. Big old bent up piece of former windmill arm. Talking about the war in Ukraine. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. How's the war in Ukraine going and what's it going to turn into? Maybe. Well, it's been 6 months now. It's been a long and bloody war. Lots of ammunition wasted destroying the world as opposed to spending effort making the climate better. But even so, well, if past is prologue, and if we can learn anything from history, basically wars are won and lost on momentum. And they say that an army, goes through their stomach, because if you can keep people fed, well, they can fight. If you're starving, it's impossible to fight. And think about making one meal for yourself. It's a lot of work. Then make it for 10 people. It's significantly more work. Armies have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of men. And they use a lot of energy in the process of being at war. It's terrifying. You carry a lot of weight around. You're young. And you use up a lot of calories. So feeding the army for 6 months itself, forgetting fighting battles and all the rest of it, just to feed that many men in a foreign land that long is incredibly difficult as far as logistics. The cost and effort, fuel, men, machines, trucks, just the livestock, everything. It's a tremendous undertaking. So if you can't do that much, the rest of it's really, really, really hard. And while Russia's supply lines have been crushed multiple times, they've had their ammunition depots all blown up, their trucks have all been destroyed, so getting everything to the front is difficult. And they were never really doing a great job of feeding the troops in the beginning. They had food has been posted where the Ukrainians have won battles where the food is dated from years and years ago. So at this point, your main question is, how are the troops doing? And the Russian troops are essentially demoralized, unmotivated, under-equipped, badly damaged. They've been mauled, blown up, and wounded. They have no prospects of getting a break because anybody who goes home doesn't come back, and the Russians know it. So at this point, the Russian troops are pretty badly positioned as far as their morale goes. And the Ukrainians, on the other hand, they're about as positive as they can be at the moment. They've got better and better weapons from the West. They've made significant impacts against the Russian infrastructures. They've blown up a lot of generals, and they stopped the attack in Kyiv. So basically, once the momentum shifts and you break through a defensive line, it's easy to roll up a unmotivated army. And right now, Ukraine is trying to break through the lines on the south and the west, and if they can do it, it's very possible the Russians will just basically break and pull all the way back into Russia. You've got the troops on the eastern side of Ukraine. They don't even want to help the Russia anymore. They just want to hold on to the area that they stole back in 2014. One of the things about the whole conflict that's annoying is that Putin and the Russians talked about trying to keep Ukraine out of NATO. Well, since 2014, when the land's been invaded by the Russians, they were not allowed to join NATO because NATO does not take a country who is currently under occupation. So the whole premise of this war was a lie. Nothing but Putin the war back into Europe. So I'm optimistic about the future of this thing. I think the Ukrainians are in a really strong position to roll the Russians up and push them all the way back out of the country. End up with a very uneasy truth in a highly militarized line, I think. But I much prefer to be in the Ukrainian shoes than the Russians at this point. But we'll see what happens. One way or the other, the windmills will still be here. 2022, global warming, Netherlands. And the war is not helping.